The only thing that she did wrong at the day and time was drive a vehicle.
With cocaine, alcohol in her system, beer in the car at a .20.
Buckle up, because this case is going to shake you. A fatal crash on Christmas Eve, a young woman behind the wheel, pregnant, intoxicated, and caught in the chaos of a four-car collision. A life lost, a family shattered, and yet the prosecution offers probation with just 7 days in jail. Sound fair to you? But wait, there's more. This case spirals into one of the most emotionally charged hearings we've seen in Harris County. We've got conflicting eyewitnesses, a judge who's clearly not buying the plea deal, and a defense lawyer who casually admits to participating in wet lab booze experiments as part of their legal training. Oh, and did we mention the defendant admitted to drinking twisted teas, smoking marijuana, and had cocaine in her system all while pregnant? And here's the kicker: despite all that, the charge isn't intoxication, manslaughter. Why? A single legal term: causation. This courtroom moment is more than a legal proceedings, a moral gut punch. So stay with us as we break it all down. From the police report and crash dynamics to the judge's emotional monologue and the final sentence, hit pause on whatever you're doing because you don't want to miss a second of this. Let's get into it.
And there's a fatality as a result.
Yes, sir.
Can you please read to me what happened?
Yes, sir. This crash happened back on December 24th of last year. Officers were advised of a four-vehicle crash at 5:37 a.m. on the 6300 block of I-45 South here in Harris County. Investigators observed massive damage on a Chrysler, indicating a head-on impact, massive force damage on a Mitsubishi, indicating a T-bone impact to the driver's side. Officers spoke with HFD firefighter who was on his way to work and observed the Chrysler strike the Mitsubishi. The Chrysler cut in front of him, causing him to swerve to the right and hit an Amazon truck. He states that this defendant was the driver and sole occupant of the Chrysler, and the driver of the Amazon truck confirms the wheel witness's story and stated that he clipped the Chrysler as he was coming to a stop. The complainant was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced deceased. Officers observed an unopened beer can in the driver's seat of the Chrysler. This defendant stated that
This is the moment where everything shifts. A fatality has been confirmed. The officer describes finding an unopened beer can, strong odor of alcohol, red glassy eyes, and it's not just alcohol in her system. She admits to smoking marijuana and drinking twisted teas before the crash. Cocaine also shows up in her blood. This is a textbook DUI nightmare, made even more tragic by the fact that someone died. But pay attention, even with all this, there's a major legal barrier at play: causation. Just because she was intoxicated doesn't automatically mean she caused the crash. Question for you all: if you were the judge, would this admission alone be enough for a manslaughter charge? Let us know in the comments. This is where the justice system gets complicated.
she was the driver and that she struck the vehicle. They observed a strong odor of alcohol on her breath, red glassy eyes, and slurred speech. She was transported to the hospital, and a DRE arrived, and she was Mirandized and she waived her rights. She stated that an SUV was stopped in a lane and she tried to swerve to avoid hitting it and then crashed into the other vehicle. She admitted to consuming 4 to 5 12-ounce twisted teas and smoking marijuana.
And alcohol in the car while she's driving.
Yes, sir. SFSTs were done. She scored 6 out of 6 on the HGN. She did not have vertical gaze nystagmus, and officers observed a lack of convergence. They were not able to do the walk and turn and one leg stand due to her injuries of a broken arm and sternum. There was a blood warrant and residual search warrant that were done, and her blood, Your Honor, came back at a .025 for ethanol, and she had, yes, 0.25, yes, sir. And then she had marijuana and cocaine in her system.
And what's the offer that you have worked out?
We worked out an 18-month probation offer with 7 days as a condition, Your Honor.
That's not the fact that there's a dead body in this case.
Did you hear that? The judge just flat out rejected the 7-day jail offer with force. His voice cracks with disbelief as he lists what's on the table: alcohol, cocaine, a fatality, and a driver who admits to it all. And yet, only a week behind bars, this moment showcases a powerful dynamic in the courtroom: judicial discretion versus plea bargaining. The prosecution may have reached an agreement, but the judge still has the final say. And this judge is not playing nice. This raises a critical question: should plea deals be allowed in cases involving death? Drop your thoughts below. This is one of those ethical crossroads where law and morality crash head.
Why is it not an intoxication?
It's a causation issue, Judge. We looked at it for an upgrade, is my understanding, because the other vehicle was on the roadway. Legally speaking, there's a causation problem, Judge, so that's why we came to the agreement that we have the families on board.
I'm not, sorry, I'm not gonna take it. We have a dead body here. She has cocaine in the system. She's got booze in the car while she's driving and a dead body. I'm not down with that. No, we're gonna have to do something else, but I would be remiss a week in jail where we have a dead body.
Yes, sir.
And to me, just because you're 9 months pregnant doesn't factor anywhere in my mind, Ms. Sanchez. Ma'am, look at me. While you're about to give life, you took someone else's life. I'm sorry. How many lives are now ruined because of this?
This right here is one of the most emotional outbursts you'll ever hear from a judge. As Miss Sanchez sits heavily pregnant, he delivers a line that stops the courtroom cold. While you're about to give life, you took someone else's life. It's a reminder that behind every courtroom case is a ripple effect of trauma. The victim is gone, but the consequences continue for the family, for the community, and even for the unborn child. And yet again, he circles back to that painful theme, the inability to prove causation. This technicality shields her from a harsher sentence, but morally, is it enough?
Not only yours, how about everybody else? Every single day in Harris County, someone is maimed because of the DWI. It's sick that we lead the nation in fatalities. And I don't know why they can't prove causation to charge you with intoxication manslaughter. But to me, a week is insufficient. It's not enough.
Yes, sir.
So
We'll go back to the drawing board and get
go
a
back,
reset, Judge.
but
Yes, sir.
I'm ready to set this case for trial now. So unless we can work something out today, I'm saying it gets set today.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, I understand that a fatality did occur, but the reason why they weren't able to charge my client with intox manslaughter is because this accident was unavoidable. If you were
Unavoidable?
yes, sir. At the time of this accident, it was unavoidable. What ended up happening is that the deceased party spun out in front of her, and she was just going straight. The only thing that she did wrong at the day and time was drive a vehicle.
With cocaine, alcohol in her system, beer in the car at a .20. Let me ask you something. Have you ever done breath test? Have you ever blown into a breath test machine? Have you ever done those wet labs? You ever done that?
Okay.
I'm serious, really.
Okay.
Have you ever done it?
I'll
Wait, did the defense attorney just say what we think he said? Yes, he admitted to getting intentionally drunk for training purposes. I was lit, he brags, trying to explain that a 0.14 BAC didn't impair him. He even downplays the defendant's 0.025 reading. This defense strategy is part science, part theatrics, but it also attempts to minimize the seriousness of intoxication. Here's the truth. BAC affects people differently, but combining alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine while behind the wheel, that's not a scientific experiment, that's a public safety disaster. Does this explanation convince you or just make it worse?
go one further, Your Honor. Before being a defense attorney, I was a lieutenant with HPD.
Okay.
So I'm above and beyond. I spent 3 years doing accident division. So not only did I investigated these. So my knowledge is probably more superior than anybody in the room. I spent 3 years picking up dead bodies. And that is a true and factual statement I'm making before the court. So yes, sir, I have.
I did, as part of training when I was a defense lawyer, I went to these classes where we took the breath test machines apart, did all kinds of experiments, did these drinking wet labs where you drink and then you blow into the machine. And the one time we did it, we downed a bunch of booze and I blew into the machine and I was lit, right? And I blew a 14 and I was lit, man. And all I did was I blew a 14, right? 0.14. She's at a 0.2.
0.025, Judge. .025.
Point oh two.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I thought you said point two.
No, sir, no, it's .025 with the cocaine and THC.
No, so she's not 3 times or 4 times over the legal limit, Your Honor.
We were discussing about Ms. Sanchez. We were discussing when for you to do your jail time. Should we have you do it immediately to where you have the baby in jail? Is that cruel and unusual punishment? But then again, is a dead body cruel and unusual punishment? You know, what's fair?
And now we hit another ethical minefield. What does justice look like when the defendant is 9 months pregnant? The court debates whether jailing her now could amount to cruel and unusual punishment, but the judge quickly flips that question. Was the death she caused not cruel and unusual? This is a haunting moment. You can feel the courtroom grappling with 2 lives at once, the one lost and the one yet to be born. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. If the baby is born with health issues due to substance use, that too becomes a lifelong sentence for both mother and child. This isn't just Lute's philosophy, ethics, and human tragedy, all colliding.
What's not fair? I don't know. All I know is that you're charged with DWI. There's a dead body, but they just can't prove causation, and that's why you're not charged with manslaughter. But the fact remains is that we have a dead body. How do we reconcile that? You know, you're pregnant now, and I truly hope that you've treated your body well throughout that pregnancy. Because if you haven't, and you've used anything while you're on probation, you're guaranteeing yourself a life of babysitting of a potential baby that will have developmental, potential psychological, physiological issues that you'll have to babysit for the rest of your life, which is punishment in and of itself. It's not fun. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. The agreement that you guys have worked out is 30 days in jail as a condition to probation for 18 months. As part of the probation, does she have any prior DWI staff?
No, Judge.
Any other criminal history?
Juvenile history only, Your Honor, but nothing DWI.
What all were you wanting done on the probation? Correct.
Yes, sir. We are asking for DWI education class, a victim impact panel, guardian interlock, no refusal, no drugs or alcohol, random UAs, 80 hours of community service, and a $300 donation to MAP.
Is this how you understand the conditions, Ms. Sanchez? I will keep you to it strictly. I'm going to monitor you myself. You will report to me here to the court so that I make sure everything gets done well. If you are not in compliance, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You will be put into jail, and then you'll be facing up to 180 days in jail. If you test positive for alcohol or any kind of drugs, I will put you in a treatment facility in the jail. Do you understand, ma'am? No alcohol, no dope, no driving. You must have what does she have now? Does she have a scram right now? Do we know if she's had any violations while she?
Here's the meat of the punishment. 30 days in jail, 18 months probation, a laundry list of requirements: no drugs, no alcohol, community service, victim panels, random drug tests, ignition interlock, the works. The judge is clear. One slip up and it's straight to jail. But let's be honest, compared to a life lost, does this feel like justice, or is it a compromise forced by technicalities? The prosecution says they couldn't prove causation. The judge reluctantly agrees to the deal, but not without letting Miss Sanchez know she'd be watched closely. What do you think? Did the system do its job, or did it fall short?
She's been on? I don't think so,
I
right?
don't
She hasn't
see any,
anybody.
Judge, no.
Okay.
She has a screen device at this time, Your Honor.
We're gonna have to figure out something about as far as the baby situation with the interlock or with the portable device. I will follow the state's agreement here. But like I said, I'm keeping you close to me. From now on, you'll be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail if you ever pick up another DWI. Do you understand? You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, if possible immigration consequence, you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. Hey, if you can do the repeat offender to get the education class. Did you say victim impact panel?
That's right,
How many?
one.
One victim impact panel. You will be required to do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. You must fulfill those conditions. Guardian interlock, no drugs, alcohol, random UA. When are you set to deliver, ma'am? What day?
August 28th.
When do you think we should do the time?
If I could request anything, Your Honor, it'd be the beginning of the year, in January 2025, the start of the year. That gives her time to nurse her baby and everything else.
She must get it done within 6 months. Okay. All right, ma'am, how do you plead to the offense guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty. We'll send you to the disagreement. Good luck to you, ma'am. Please see the
So there it is, a tragic Christmas Eve crash. A pregnant driver with alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine in her system, a young woman dead, and a court system caught between legal limitations and moral outrage. In the end, Miss Sanchez gets 30 days in jail and 18 months probation, not because the evidence wasn't damning, but because the law couldn't link intoxication directly to the death. This case forces us to ask tough questions. What is justice? Should technicalities override accountability? And when tragedy meets the courtroom, can any sentence truly bring closure? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. We'll see you in the next one.